Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I'm Davia Chambers, and today we come to you from the scenic Fort King George, a location that played a big part in the history of Tobago. And as we show you the various sites and artifacts dating back more than 200 years, we've also got the latest on what's happening across the island. But first, as usual, the headlines. Workers of the Unemployment Relief Program are assured that they would not lose their jobs. Plans to protect Tobago's natural assets move ahead as members of the island's management trust are appointed, and later, some young people with great potential are celebrated for their achievements. All this and more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. Fort King George was built in the 1770s during British reign and named in honor of King George III, who ruled at that time. It was briefly called Fort Castries after the island was captured by the French, but the British eventually retook the island, restoring the fort's original name. Now, there have been recent changes to the Unemployment Relief Program in Tobago. In fact, its potential as an economic driver is about to be explored. Here's this story. No worker of the Unemployment Relief Program, or URP, will be sent home. That's the assurance of the Secretary of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment, Councillor Kwesi Devines. Changes have been made to get more out of the program. Councillor Devines says there's no need for workers to worry.
We are not cutting any workers. We understand, and the Assembly has made all attempts, and the Chief Secretary would have said it on many occasions, that we are trying to maintain employment levels as far as possible.
Mr. Devine says, however, that there are workers of the program who have additional employment within the Tobago House of Assembly. He says they will have to decide which department they will remain with.
Those persons will have to make a choice. Which job do we want to keep? And it's ongoing, the process is ongoing. As I said, we've identified some persons so far. The administrator is actually collaborating with his colleagues. And once we have the final figure, we will make that figure available to you all.
The division has made fundamental changes to the URP. This includes partnering with the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development, and Labour. Capacity building in the program is now a major focus.
These workers would have submitted their names, qualifications, and they are now being uploaded to the Labour Exchange Bureau that is being hosted by the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development, and Labour. Beyond that, we will be hosting a series of training sessions in agro-processing because we recognize that there's an opportunity for agricultural development.
The activities of the program will resume on March 1st. Among the ruins here at Fort King George are a military hospital, an officer's mess hall, a bell tank and a prison. Several cannons are stabilized around the compound, many proudly overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. From the past to the future as Tobago looks to boost its tourism industry. Still, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. In fact, as Omadara Mills tells us, it's about using our existing assets to enhance the visitor experience. Here's more.
Tourism is critical to Tobago. It's a means of bringing in foreign exchange. It also creates jobs for many residents. The Chief Executive Officer of the Tobago Tourism Agency, Louis Lewis, says that tourism is a sector that can be used to build the island's economy.
It allows you also to monetize what is your culture. So you can have dance and theatre, and those things can be presented for a viewing price, and it becomes an economic activity. It allows you to use your culinary, historic traditions. People travel not to experience the same, but to experience something that is different to where they reside.
Events like the Goat and Crab Racing Festival, which occurs at Easter, and the annual Blue Food Festival in October, can have a greater significance if visitors get bits of the festivals year-round.
We have to find ways in which somebody who comes in November or comes in January can get a snippet of that. And that same thing goes for all the other activities. Like, we have an abundance of culture here, and we have to find a way to monetize it. The goat race is very attractive, but how can somebody come in February, get an experience of what that looks like? And the infrastructure is already there. So it's a mindset change that we have to have those things on display or available for participation, and of course for a fee. And that's how you start to monetize things that are seasonal.
Besides the seasonal events, the island stands to benefit from developing niches like destination weddings.
One of the areas in which we can improve our visibility and cash in on the potential that exists there, because destination weddings are becoming more and more attractive. People find it less expensive to have a destination wedding. And once you get a bride, you also have the groom, you have the wedding party. So in attracting one person, you probably get 10 to 15, and sometimes wedding parties are as large as about 80 to 100. So we have to move into that market, make it easy for people to get married in Tobago.
The CEO of the Tobago Tourism Agency is encouraging businesses to provide excellent service and authentic experiences to visitors. This will go a long way in ensuring tourists keep coming back to the island. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now you can also find the Tobago Museum right here at Fort King George. It's got history on display in the form of artifacts like weapons, old maps and photographs, and other key reminders of Tobago's past. So 9 contestants lined up for the prestigious Tobago House of Assembly Interdepartment Personality Competition title during the recent Carnival season. And after she stole the headlines, this year's winner sat down with Crystal George to share her experience in the competition. Here's more.
A life-changing experience. That's how Akila Lawrence described her winning performance in the Interdepartment Personality Competition 2018. Akila represented the Division of Community Development, Enterprise Development and Labor. She says her journey was almost as great as her destination.
It's a life-changing experience and it's very exciting and enjoyable. The preparation that basically went into this competition was in the line of reading script, practicing dance, singing. Yeah, and that was basically it.
Having a support system in competitions like these is very important. And because of the backing of her friends and co-workers, Akila said she wasn't nervous to compete.
For some strange reason, I had a overwhelming confidence. The division, they also made sure that I was confident in terms of every day someone would tell me, we are proud of you, you're going to win. So I wasn't really nervous because I always had that die-hard support.
Akila said once she had delivered her talent and displayed her carnival wear, she felt confident she would walk away with the title. But in the midst of it all, she asked God for guidance.
On the actual night of the competition, I felt confidence. I made sure and started with a prayer. So I trust that God would have delivered victory to me, and He did.
Akila edged out 8 other competitors for the title and the first prize of $8,000. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but coming up next, members of the Northeast Management Trust get their instruments of appointment. We have all the details after the break. Do stay with us. In its heyday, Fort King George was known as a war zone. Now it's a tranquil park for families, history buffs and wedding parties to create memories. There's no cost for admission, but you'll have to pay a small fee to enter the Tobago Museum. Now, staying on the topic of heritage, Tobago is stepping up efforts to protect the main ridge and other critical sites. As Omadara Mills reports, the island has taken a very important step towards achieving this goal.
It's the oldest legally protected forest reserve geared specifically towards a conservation purpose. That makes the Main Ridge Forest Reserve of great importance to this island. So the board of the Northeast Protected Area Management Trust has been appointed to improve the management of the Main Ridge, as well as other protected areas in the Northeast. The board will be chaired by Claire Davidson-Williams.
I really look forward to it and look forward to working with the division continuing to ensure that we protect what we have here in Tobago and work together to ensure that we leave a sustainable legacy for our persons coming behind us here in Tobago.
One of the goals is to ensure that the main ridge becomes a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
What is the maximum we can get out of it while preserving, and the maximum that we can get out of it for the people in the area? So the persons in Northeast Tobago, of course, should be the ones to benefit most from an initiative like this.
The Main Ridge Forest Reserve was also voted the world's leading ecotourism destination by the World Travel Awards from 2003 to 2006. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now, this fort is strategically positioned on a hill that offers a panoramic view of Scarborough and miles of the Tobago coastline. This allowed the occupying military to detect approaching intruders very early and gave them the upper hand in battle. Healthy minds, healthy bodies, healthy youth. It's what the education system is trying to achieve through the school nutrition program. In this next story, Kern Freitas explains how a change in menu is changing lives. Have a look.
Last November, Tobago made the bold but important step of encouraging healthier eating in schools through the school feeding program. The school nutrition unit was mandated to provide healthier food for the island's students, as well as to cut out sugary drinks. On November 1st, 2017, they also implemented a local week program. That's where 1 week of the 5-week lunch cycle is dedicated to local cuisine.
It incorporates dishes like cassava and saltfish cook-up, curry fish with provision, also soups like pigeon peas, dasheen bush. Of this menu, you would find most students appreciating the cassava saltfish cook-up. Sometimes you may see it as saltfish with dumpling and provision. They actually love that as well. Generally, on the entire menu, they love the soup. They really do appreciate the soup.
Ms. Franklin says she's pleased with how things have gone so far. She's hoping that the menu changes will have a positive impact on the students in the long run.
We're more leaning towards the more indigenous part of Tobago in terms of local food, right? And it's always along the line of encouraging children to eat healthier and basically utilizing what we have here in Tobago.
One school that has embraced the changes is Montgomery Early Childhood Care and Education, or ECCE Center. The school has worked closely with its caterers for the past 12 years. Montgomery's principal says this relationship has benefited her young students.
As a teacher, administrator, I can say I have gotten really good responses. I mean, if there is anything, like there's a child who is allergic to something, I can always talk to them and tell them, well, listen, this child is allergic to this. So, example, there's one child who's allergic to peas, and they really do something different for her each time they are serving peas.
At my schools, I have a very good relationship. If they have to do something special, they will call me. So and so, can you do so and so for us? I say, no problem. Even though it's not school time, I will do it.
The program is a key step in encouraging healthier lifestyles in the next generation. The School Nutrition Unit falls under the Division of Education, Innovation and Energy. I'm Kern Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
This park is filled with history. You can find relics around the fort like the customs shipping scale that was used to weigh sugar, molasses and cocoa before being shipped to Europe. Now it's the latest youth facility to be opened in Tobago, but already the Signal Hill Youth Centre is having a big impact. Our cameras visited the centre to bring you this story. Have a look.
These children are getting a head start on their homework, while these teenagers are receiving additional help with their Spanish and English lessons. They are just a few of the young people who come to the Signal Hill Youth Centre after school. 15-year-old Jelani Williams appreciates the activities that include academic studies, agricultural work, and various relaxation activities. He says that more children should come and spend their afternoons here.
I will encourage them because You're giving them more opportunities to go places and to finish up what they have to do and to build a good structure.
The center facilitates young people ages 8 to 19 years old. Currently, there are 50 students registered at the center. They participate in the center's Push Hour, a 2-hour session where volunteers provide academic lessons to the students. Latoya Roberts-Thomas is one of the 11 volunteers. She says that the activities are designed to ensure children make good use of their time while in a secure environment.
Primarily, I find that the center is useful because not every parent can afford to send their child to like an extra class or some kind of structured extra activity. So at least a lot of the persons who come to this catchment are working in the Signal Hill area, and it's good to have a nice, safe zone for children to come and play, but also to learn. So there's a balance. Normally, we tend to focus a lot during the week on school, and then Fridays usually the fun day where you either have like a movie evening, or we go outside and we do agriculture, or we do arts and craft or something of the sort.
There's a lot of involvement from parents, community members, businesses, and several youth organizations. Youth Auxiliary Officer Natalia Joseph says that the activities are meant to help members develop proper habits and good interpersonal skills.
Now we are seeing a great change in that. Bags are placed where we ask them to put their bags. There's less eating at the computers. You know, they're more polite, even to us and their peers, because that's something that we impress on them. That it's not just about how you treat us as adults, but how you treat each other. And we are seeing that they're more willing, you know, to participate and to pray. We ask them to say kind words. You know, be a little softer in your tone. Don't shout and curse and fight. And so, yes, there have definitely been a change in their behavior.
The Signal Hill Youth Center is one of the 5 youth centers on the island that's managed by the Division of Youth Affairs and Sport. It was commissioned in October last year. The other centers are located in Bethel, Union, Castara, and Pembroke. The objective is to engage young people in positive activities that will benefit their future. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
We have to take a break, but when we return, the Mason Hall Police Youth Club hosts its annual awards function. When Let's Talk Tobago returns, don't go anywhere. The Fine Arts Center at Fort King George has been transformed into a cultural museum, the interactive heritage exhibition by the Division of Tourism, Culture and Transportation. The museum is open from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's all a part of the thrust to preserve Tobago's traditions. Now, the Mason Hall Police Youth Club is changing lives in that community. The organization also took the opportunity to recognize several of its young charges for their achievements in the past year. We have all the details in this next report.
Some people only dream of success. Others get up every morning and make it happen. Like the awardees of the Mason Hall Police Youth Club, who were honored recently at their Youth Awards ceremony. Mason Hall Police Youth Club continues to be one of the island's top youth organizations.
Today we celebrate all the students who have worked hard and excelled in the areas of participation. Today we know that they were not just dreaming, but they applied themselves, and therefore they sit here with us this afternoon.
Police youth clubs provide an environment for learning and positive activities for young people in their respective communities. They were encouraged to dream big and follow through to make their dreams reality.
Anyone can be innovative in any field in which they go into. When you have a passion for what you do, you will be able to create more out of it. Invent something. Own your business. Think big. You may start small, but if you're thinking big, you are going to get further.
As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child, and that's exactly what the people of Mason Hall are doing. And for that, They're being applauded for their efforts in making the youth in their community to stay on the right track.
I want to thank you and encourage you to keep on participating, encouraging the youths and supporting the youth club. For without your support, this function would not be possible. I also want to encourage the young ones who are here, encourage them to keep striving for excellence and keep striving for the best in everything that they do. And once they continue to do that, it would render this youth club to be a very successful one and also help them to be better adults and citizens of Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago's policy youth clubs help empower young people to become self-sufficient. They also provide the youth with a safe space to interact, share ideas, and socialize. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's now time to have Your Say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, the viewers. We'll now have a look at who had their say this week.
Alright, so we're here with Miss Jordan right now. So we're here with Bruce right now. So we're here with Brent right now. We're asking Mr. Philip. And we're asking Bruce Winchester. I can't talk words and tell you that. We're on the Esplanade right now, and we're asking the question today: what is your definition, or what would you consider a balanced meal?
A balanced meal. A balanced meal is a meal that takes in all the components of the 6 food groups. So you must have your protein, you must have your vegetables, your starch, your carbs. I don't believe in snacks.
Apples, banana, grapes, vegetables, apples, grapes, fruits, carrots. Apple, grapes, banana, orange.
I love to eat banana, grapes, apple.
Fruits in the morning, you know, I look at greens, you know, a little starch, and then we have a nice round, well-did breakfast, some nice fried fish, you know, a nice roast beef, you know what I'm saying?
So what would you consider a balanced meal?
I will consider a balanced meal to be a meal consisting of the 7 food groups. So make sure you could have meats, you could have your carbohydrates, proteins, all of these things.
This is a cassava punch, Tobago own. It is a balanced meal to hold you through part of the day. It's a substitute. It's good in vitamins, calories, and our own cassava products. That is a balanced meal in my book.
We close yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and very productive week. We close now with a spectacular view of Scarborough and the surroundings from right here at Fort King George.
You date him for 2 years, hospitalized twice, no scuffle and real tears, still you never heed advice. Battered and bruised, you kept making excuse for him. You can't see yourself without Jamal. Married on a Sunday, for sure, it was a fun day. Well, today it's your funeral. Really signs, I say, we had to read them signs to identify when and how to navigate between the lines. From the first day you lick your tongue and you knock out cold. You should have known, but now you're gone from this world. So sister, sticks and stones and broken bones should be enough. Pack up your stuff, don't sit and pine. Reboot your mind, we had to read them signs. Hey, oh, 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 oh. Read the signs. His one and only son, the sparkle of his eyes, fell victim to the gun. Sadly, to his surprise, he laid out the plan for him to be a great man, but still, he just couldn't see beyond the fall. So he took stuff without buying, get rich or die trying, and now he's lying stiff in the mall. Oh, read the signs, read the signs. I say we had to read them signs to identify when and how to navigate between the lines. Last week when you spot the sneakers on the new cell phone, it never dawned, it's only now you concerned. But sometimes the only style to save your child is you have to stalk just like the hook. Keep them in line and for peace of mind, we have to read them signs. Hey, oh, 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 oh. Read the signs. You fell for the shorty, pretty face and shape galore, so sexy and naughty. You get through, boy, you score. But while you on work, she liming, obnoxious and out of timing. Still you buy it wholesale and duty free. But in that package of candy, HIV and destiny, now your grave digging in the cemetery. Oh, read the signs, read the signs. I say we have to read them signs to identify when and how to navigate between the lines. She poor, she don't do no work, cause that will mess up her nails. But hands on the ground, see she flexing with Chip and Dale. So fellas, you know the eyes get hypnotized when she shake that waist right in front of your face, boy. Remove the blind to know the kind. We have to read them signs. Hey, oh, 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 oh. We got to read the signs. Signs come in all forms. They manifest at any time to reveal, to inform, and won't cost you one dime. So look closer, heed the warning. If she faithful or she horning, is he a good man or am I wrong? And in this competition, will I fail on my mission? Or tonight I taking back my crown. Roxborough, read the signs, read the signs. I say we have to read them signs to identify when and how to navigate between the lines. We were born with an instinct to discern, a second sight, a sixth sense. In this life, that's our best form of self-defense.